Hey everyone, making a little bit more progress on the 87 GT T-top, getting new weather stripping on the doors and around the T-top glass. My last video you saw that I replaced this end corner piece on the doors. That's specific to T-tops and probably convertibles. Well, I just finished replacing this piece as well, and we'll get into the details.
So now that I've got this focused, if you can see, I'm pointing towards the front of my driver door, and the glass, the window glass, is not inside that channel. It's off to the left of it instead of being inside that plastic or weather stripping channel. Looks like that's why I'm having all these issues now with my window not wanting to go up and rattling around inside the door. I wish I had something to point, but you can see the glass right there, and it goes down towards the bottom of the front of the door, and it's kind of touching that felty light gray piece of weather stripping, but it should be over to the right about another half an inch and inside that channel to ride up and down. All right, so I got it back in the track. I had to basically roll it all the way up real slowly, little spurts at a time, to make sure it didn't bind up and break. I kind of wiggled it around till it got up closer to the top, and then it just kind of got itself back into the channel, which probably shouldn't be able to do that, but it kind of fixed itself. And then as I roll it back down, now it's inside that channel. But I've already done this a couple of times without the video running, and it'll pop itself back out when I roll it down or as I shut the doors. I've also noticed that this weather stripping piece, it's ripped and breaking apart up towards the top, which there's probably a few other places in there that it's breaking also. And that's probably what's caused this thing to pop out. So fortunately, this is all a piece, runs down inside a metal channel, and it's connected to this part on my door. Since this is a T-top, I think it shares this part with a convertible as well. It's this rubber weather stripping piece that gets riveted here on the frame of the door next to the mirror, and then it bends and down and goes all the way down inside there. It's probably going to be a pain to get the new piece inside that metal channel. Like before, I've got a few rivets to drill out. I've got these two, the heads drilled off of them now, and then I've got a third one down there. I didn't see it first, so I got some fresh tape to help catch most of the shavings, and then we'll get that one drilled out. And we got the head off. And there's no going back now. Once this comes off, we got to get the new stuff back in, and that's going to be the hard part. And that's breaking apart pretty easy. Got to get those rivets pushed out, clean all that up. And then there's the old weather stripping that goes all the way down into the door. And where'd my flashlight go? All right, so there you can see now. All that's got to come out. That won't really be the hard part. Getting the new stuff in is going to be the hard part. So there's the old stuff. It's all cracking. I can see now it's got a lot more cracking that's been going on. It's probably why the window's coming out of the track. Probably going to require a lot of patience and cussing. All right, well, you can see it pried out pretty easily from that channel down till it gets close to the window. Now I'm going to see if I can get a hold of it and just pull it out of there around the window. It's got some oil on the inside of it, makes it slippery. I guess maybe a little WD-40 before I put the new stuff in might help get it down in there correctly. And yeah, we're about to see if we can get this pulled out of there. And I needed to take the speaker out of the door, and the weather stripping runs all the way down to the bottom here where this channel is. It's inside there in between it and the window, and it sticks out at the bottom. I just kind of pushed it up inside here, and it did spin freely. You can see there is a greasy film that's on the window and was all around that weather stripping. And once I pushed it up a bit, I was able to grab a hold of it up here some more and started pulling. So I didn't want to pull it all out until I showed you guys, but down there it is, and it's still around the window a little bit, but I'm able to pull it out of there. All right. You can see it was all ripping apart. And so now there's the metal frame. There's the window. So I got to feed the new stuff down in there. So I've got the rivets drilled out. I've started prying this away at the top. I've just been very slow so I can make sure I see how it's attached, how it's routed around the mirror with this piece here that kind of cuts off on the piece that's on here. I don't think the piece I bought is like that, but I'll have to take a look. So this channel that the window rides in, you know, when this is back in place, it goes all the way down through the door. You can kind of see it. Yeah, not really, but it's back in there. And then it rides down in that channel and all the way to the bottom. You see I got my window all the way down, and that weather stripping runs a couple inches past this metal frame that it pushes into. The new one is not as long. On the driver's side, working on that one, it comes about flush. It doesn't go down as far. So now that the window is down, I can pry this out quite a bit out of that metal channel, and I'm going to try to just pull up on it and see if I can get this piece to slide up. Even though the window is down there, I think I should be able to get it to pull out. It may fall apart, we'll see. There we go. So the driver's side crumbled all to pieces when I did that, but this one came out all in one piece. And let's go compare it to the new one.
Well, here's the new one for the passenger side, and I've had this with these clamps on it for 2 weeks now. When you buy them and out of the package, those channels are all spread apart almost straight out instead of making a U-shaped channel that the window rides in. So I've just been trying to clamp it together, let it have a little bit of a set. It won't stay that close together when I unclamp them, but maybe they won't be spread out quite as far. As you can see, once I took them off, even after 2 weeks, they don't stay close together too much, but yeah, I can't even say it's a little better than it was when I first bought it. I don't think it's really changed at all. So you basically gotta try to squeeze it together and get it back into that metal channel as you're installing it, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. Okay, so here's the old original, and of course the heater kicks on. So here's the original piece I just took out of the passenger side, and back here's the new one. Just like the driver's side, I've got these ripples in the rubber, which I'm not real thrilled about, but it looks like I'm kind of getting them straightened out. And one thing I've noticed right off is on the original piece, there's a clear cut. That was weird. Light bulb's going out or something. There's a clear cut all the way down. So at the factory, it would appear that they cut this overlap off from here down, which would make sense because on the driver's side, which I've already, son of a, all right, Midwest wintertime, always got the heater running. So anyway, like I was saying, you can see right here, I had to basically just cut a little slit eventually when I realized why it wasn't seating in very well. And I just cut a slit and pushed it in. I didn't remove the piece like this. It goes all the way down. I didn't notice before that they had done that at the factory, because this one on this side, it all crumbled apart in pieces. I tried to get it out, so I guess I didn't even realize that some of that was missing. But so that's one thing I noticed. And then again, if I take the new one and I line it up with the original, you can see, you know, the original is longer. It sticks out at the bottom of the door past the metal frame that it slides into, but not really a big deal. The window doesn't go down into it that far anyway. So other than that, I mean, they look pretty similar. It's a pretty good piece, other than this bend where it was bent in the package. I wish they hadn't done that, but we'll start getting it installed, and I'll go through that here in a second. I cleaned everything up real well. You can see it looks like at the factory they just put a few little dabs of some type of sealant where those rivets are going to go to keep water out. I scraped off as much as I could. So, and then they've got this piece here that's original that I'm going to cut off flat, and then I'm going to put a new bead of Weatherstrip adhesive, bead it up here, and this go all the way down across those holes before I set the new one in. And that should basically do the same thing that they did in the factory. And then on this edge right here, that's, you know, just bare metal. On this edge, the rubber from that piece I'm getting ready to put in is just going to sit over top of it. So I'm going to put just a little bit of butyl over through here. It looks like there's already some in here from the factory. So I'm just going to push a little down in there and make sure I can't see it once it doesn't ooze out or something, just a little bit to help keep water out of there. The only time it really ever see water is when I'm washing it, but still, if I can do something now to keep it out of there, then that'll make me feel better. All right, so I'm using some multi-purpose Ford Lincoln Mercury grease here. Got a little bit here. And on the bottom edge, the back side of our new Weatherstrip, this is the part that's going to go in that metal channel in the door. I'll apply this to the bottom, about quarter of the Weatherstrip, and get it on the sides as well, but trying to be careful not to get it on the inside felt part that'll touch the window. And this is hopefully going to help get this to feed down in through the channel all the way to the bottom of the door, but I don't think I should need it up towards the top necessarily. So maybe about the bottom third, I guess. Now I'm not going to put any of the Weatherstrip adhesive up here yet until after I get everything in place. I don't want to be making a mess by getting it touching everything and getting all over. So I've just got that bottom third greased up. I'm going to start feeding it down inside that channel down in there. You can see the windows all the way down. I'm going to try to squeeze this together as I start to feed it down in there, kind of like this. I'm going to get it down and try to push it up against the metal channel all the way down until it makes contact with the window that's down there. And once I get it to that point, then I'll be back. So I've got that fed down in a little ways. It goes around the gear, that big plate that helps move your window up and down. And I know it's going to be hard to see. And I've got that weather stripping all the way down to where it's coming in contact with the window. It's not pushed down in between it yet and into the metal groove, but it's resting up on the window. So now I'm going to try to push it down a little ways and see if I can get it to start feeding in between the window edge and that C-shaped metal channel that it's going to rest in. If I can get it started a little bit, then I'm going to start trying to raise my window up to help push it into the metal track. And then if I can get it to stay put when the window comes up, then I'll try to start pulling the weather stripping down around the window. All right, so quick update here. I look down in there. I've got it feeding, starting to get it into the channel, and I've started getting it around the window. I was actually able to push it down a lot further than I thought without even raising the window up first. And that grease definitely helped. Now it's got a ways to go still. One thing I did to really help also was I took a really long pry bar before the window was pulled up any, and I was able to kind of get it inside the groove of the weather stripping. And you don't want to push too hard. I wasn't trying to push it and rip the weather stripping, but I was just able to kind of push it down with not much effort, and it would help feed it down around the window and keep going further down into the track. So I'd get it down in there a ways and just get it inside the groove and push down, and it would keep sliding down. So if you look at the bottom here, you can start to see I've just about got it as far down as it needs to go. And you can see here, you know, this is getting closer to coming into contact with this top edge. So just trying to take my time, not damage anything. I'm gonna roll the window back down some more and see if I can get this to go down a little further. may not be able to get it much further that way, so I'm gonna try to raise it back up. All right, so now I'm going to take some long needle nose pliers and try to pull this down. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got this in the place. I've got 1, 2, 3 rivets in. I put a bead of, let's see, this black super Weatherstrip adhesive sealant. I put a bead of that at every hole around and in the hole before I put the rivets through. And then up at the top here, I showed you there was a big dollop of dried adhesive from before. I tried to imitate that, built it up so that when this squishes down and gets riveted in, it just seals up all of the top of the metal from the frame of the door. And I left the window up all night, all the way up, and that helped get all this to take a set and push in good. It's already started helping. The window goes up and down on its own better now. So I've lowered it a couple inches. It's gonna sit there all day. I'll lower it a couple more inches and it'll sit that way all night. And then I'll repeat that until it gets all the way down over the next couple of days. The reason I'm doing that is just to help keep the new weather stripping in that metal channel. And on the driver's side door, when I was first installing it, it wanted to keep popping out every time you'd move the window up. The bottom would want to come out. If you'd move the window down, the top would want to come out. So what I found with that from experimenting is by leaving this window in certain spots, it's helping keep that adhesive inside the channel, pushes it in there and helps it keep a set. And now the driver's side, it's perfect. And this side, it's doing the same thing. I've got a real nice tight seal on the weather stripping to the top of the door here. It's not got a gap, it's not moving around. The mirror helps keep it in place. I've got a nice even line all the way down. I know it's kind of hard to see the shadow down there, but it is pretty even from top to bottom. I had to experiment with that a couple of times and loosen the nuts and tighten them back down to get it exactly where I wanted it. So yeah, I think that's come out real well. Looks a lot better. It's not all cracked and nasty looking like the old one was, the original one. And so that, along with this, is making it look a lot better. And now I've got also the new trim piece. Instead of one that's been painted who knows how many times, and it's making the door look really good. So now I'm in the process of still cleaning. I've got the channels all clean. I've got this all clean. I'm painting the A and B pillar channels that screw into here to hold the weather stripping. They're about done. I'm gonna let them sit at least a week before I install them to make sure that paint is cured really well. I've got this repainted and masked it off the other day. That's looking a lot better. And yeah, so now it's kind of just gonna wait until next weekend. This is Sunday. I'll wait till next weekend before I start using any of the trim that I've been painting, just because I don't want it to chip or scratch. It's still gonna be soft for a while. And I got nothing but time. It's December 10th, so just early into my winter projects, and I might as well just let it get done right. So that's my update for now, and I'll be back soon.